Welcome, everybody. This presentation is on employee benefits. We are going to show you how you stack up to the competition, which benefits are associated with increased retention. But before we do that, just some housekeeping. I'm Amber Edwards. I'm the Vice President of Talent Development here at Opportunity Stanislaus. Some of you are investors in OS, and for that, we thank you. Some of you are our friends through Sector Strategies, which is the contract we have with Stanislaus County Workforce Development. So about that contract, what we do is we are contracted to reach out to businesses in the sectors of agriculture, manufacturing, logistics, and healthcare. And what the Department of Workforce wants to know is what issues are you having in sustaining and growing your business, particularly those related to workforce. If you have a need for college interns, or you want to learn about on-the-job training funds, which pay for new or upskilled employees as they learn the skills on the job, you can contact Stanislaus County Workforce Development at 558-HIRE. And Eugene is on this Zoom, so you can get Eugene's information in chat. I'm sure he'll be happy to share his personal email with you. And then we are Opportunity Stanislaus, and here is our hiring assistance information that we do for investors. We help with recruitments, we share stuff on social media, and we have a lot of HR trainings. A lot of our trainings come from suggestions that you guys give to us. So keep giving us that feedback. You guys had really mentioned you wanted soft skills training. We are developing a soft skills training right now. We have a lot of employers weighing in. So if you want to be one of the companies that weighs in on what that training looks like, reach out to us. We're also developing a training for HR practitioners right now. So if you want information about that, let us know and we will let you know. So today's topic is on benefits. They have become a really hot topic as everybody struggles to get and keep employees, which is heightened by which is heightened by COVID and the gig economy. So benefits and your bottom line. Typically, the cost of benefits, it's about 31%. If you look right there, this is average worker, all the positions in the United States. The average is $39.55 an hour in wage and benefits, $27.35 of that is wages, $12.20 is benefits. In private industry, it's about 29% is that percentage. Government employees, obviously that goes up quite a bit. There's pensions, there's other benefits. It goes up to 38%. So the next screen that you're going to see is a chart from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. And what we have there is the cost across different industries. So that's very interesting. I'm going to send you guys the full report on that. It'll have every industry. I just took this page as a snippet so you'd know what to expect. Shows you the total cost for different benefits, insurance, things like that. You can see what it is for a sales manager, an elementary school teacher, things like that. So again, everybody's going to get that full report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which was done in September. So that's very interesting information just on the cost of it. So for benefits, the reason that it matters to you guys, it has a huge impact on attraction and retention of employees. So SHRM did a big survey last year. 56% of employees said health coverage was a big deciding factor on whether they stayed at their current job or left in the Great Resignation. 46% of people said that health insurance was the deciding factor in why they chose their job. 80% of people said they would rather have additional benefits over a pay raise, which is really kind of interesting because we think that wages are the kind of the end all be all. So this next chart, this is a look at what job seekers said about which benefits matter, how much focus they put on each of those benefits. So obviously health, dental, and vision, kind of the trifecta up top, a big decision. Flexibility really rose to the top. Flexibility and telecommuting became huge in the things that people cared about during the pandemic. People are going to continue to care. We set a precedent during that time about what's possible, and people do want that to continue, and there's an expectation. We did a study last year. We found that even though we're viewed as a very traditional county, we had a lot of HR practitioners say that their companies are going to continue to let those people who can work remotely continue to do so in some fashion, whether that looks like fully remote, whether that looks like 3-2, that's all up for debate. We do have information for you guys if you are looking at that kind of structure, if you want to talk about how you get a remote position, how you discuss that in the job description, we can help you with that as well. So the next page is the standard benefits that you can expect to see. Obviously, medical, dental, vision, sick, vacation, holiday. These are kind of the things that are pretty basic once you get to what you would consider a significant amount of employees, right? So nobody really has all this stuff when they start, but eventually this is what you'd want to get to if you wanted to talk about really growing your business to the next level and keeping those employees that you work so hard to hire. So next, we did a survey, and a lot of you participated in that survey, and we're going to show you at the end what those matrices came out looking like. This is a look at the percent of local companies that offer those standard benefits. So there's a lot of companies that don't offer that, right? And that's no problem if you're not there yet for medical, dental insurance. Retirement's a different story. California State has changed things. Depending on the size of your business, you would have to have enrolled already, or you will have to enroll by this summer. So if you're not there yet and you are a small business and need to understand more about how you get enrolled in that state retirement plan, we can help you with that. We have consultants on the SBDC side that do that. So if you look at these, we're doing pretty great locally. 96% of our participating companies offer those basic things. Sick pay, we're at 89%. Life insurance, 85%. Vacation, 77%. EAP, it used to just kind of be a standard forgotten thing. During COVID, EAP was really leaned upon. People really wanted, especially counseling referrals and resources. They had family issues that they wanted to talk about. They had personal mental health issues they wanted to talk about. Free discounted products, that should be a no-brainer. How much discount you want to do, that's up to you. That's up to your profit margin and ability, how often that looks like. But that's something you can easily do. Tuition reimbursement. So this is really important as we look to really keep our young talent in the area. We've been doing a lot of outreach with educational entities. We've been working with SCO, we've been working with SPI. And what those young kids want to know is, are there jobs here? Are there careers here? And how do I get there? What does that look like if I want to go to a 2-year college? What if I want to go to a 4-year college? What if I want to go to no college at all? Could I start working? And how does that look? So the fact that 52% of participating companies had tuition reimbursement is pretty big. So I see something in the chat. I'm going to ask for Amanda to let me know. Is there a question? Okay, so guys, Eugene shared his contact information in the chat. Again, he's from Workforce Development. So we are going to There's a link right there. They have tons of resources. If you're not yet acquainted with them, that would be a great resource for you. Okay, flexible scheduling, 41%. Obviously, not every position can be done remotely, and not every industry lends itself to that. So we know that, but companies are doing a good job of offering that. Okay. So some less common high value benefits are things like recruitment bonuses, profit sharing, performance bonuses, having some kind of a wellness program, free meals, snacks, relocation assistance, credit union membership, and paid volunteerism time. So when we looked at in our survey about local companies doing those things, that was interesting also. So the recruitment bonus, 63% of you have recruitment bonuses. During COVID, from 2020 to 2021, recruitment bonuses went up 454%, not the amount of them, just the fact that the amount of companies that offered recruitment bonuses. Unfortunately, this looks like it's something that's here to stay. This is something that people really liked, obviously, and became accustomed to. If anybody would like to unmute themselves, we'd love to hear what you guys are offering locally for recruitment bonuses. Okay, I'll give it a minute. So I do know about some that are pretty interesting. Pacific Southwest Container has a bonus program. Sierra Pacific has a bonus program. The recruitment, Gallo, I know you guys do. Frito-Lay, not only do they have a regular bonus program, but you guys, I'm sure, have seen the big billboard on the freeway for maintenance mechanics. They're offering a $10,000 recruitment bonus, which is pretty intense. So if anybody else would like to share. Okay, great. Yeah, it does depend. Dawn, you're right. Sometimes it can be 1,000, sometimes it can be 2,000. Difficult to fill positions. Some of them are always going to be tough. There's another thing that we're working on that might be of interest to you guys. We're working on relocation tools. That's something that we're always going to kind of be working on. We have been talking to workforce development about things that we can do, and then we're going to look into things we can do on our own. But it's going to be those tools that really help you guys plan a good experience for recruitment, things that you can give them to give candidates information about our county. We know that oftentimes the decision maker is that spouse that's going to be coming with them. We're looking at tools that you can give that spouse to help really sway things in favor of Stanislaus County. So those are all tools that factor into. Yeah, so that's a good note, Dawn. So sign-on bonuses versus referral bonuses. Most of you have employee referral programs. If you do not yet have an employee referral program, we have HR consultants with our SBDC. Our SBDC, Valley Sierra SBDC, is here in-house. You're considered a small business if you have 500 employees or less. So that's pretty much the majority of our companies. It's something like 95% of companies are considered small businesses. So you can get free recruiting and HR help from those consultants. They'll help you come up with a employee referral program. So if you don't have one yet, that's just really low-hanging fruit. You're more likely to get people to stay if they come on as a referral from employees. So that's great feedback. Thank you, Dawn. Anybody else, feel free to unmute yourself and chime in at any time. We want to get information from you guys about what you want to know. You guys told us that you want to get information from us on topics, and this was one of the topics you wanted to hear about. So performance bonuses, 52% of you are giving those. That's awesome. Wellness plans. So that's interesting because that can look kind of different. So wellness plans, it can look like $50 a month reimbursement for things like workout equipment, massages, chiropractic care, anything that really helps you feel better. Right now, Peloton's really big. It can cover not only the equipment itself, which you can get for like $48 a month through Peloton, but it can also cover that service, right? That sign up charge that's monthly. Here at OS, we do $500 a year. You can do those kinds of things. You can get an Apple Watch that is great for fitness tracking. You can have contests. Wellness plans are a really low cost way that you can offer. And you know, ultimately it does save on your insurance premiums. Meals and snacks. We just had a lunch meeting today where we had lunch. We rotated around. We support local businesses, small businesses. Snacks are an easy thing to do. Healthy snacks are great, especially because we all have so many employees that stayed working during the pandemic that still come on site, and we really want to show appreciation to those folks. Relocation assistance, 22% of companies offer relocation assistance. Again, we do have resources around that we are happy to share with you guys. So some more benefits that local companies are offering. Things like supplemental accident and cancer benefits. A good provider for that is Aflac. Your employees can get it for as little as $20 a month. So that's a really good resource that actually gives you cash if you have a medical problem that would make it so that you couldn't work. A lot of them do reimbursement, but Aflac will give you cash. Academic achievement, that's different than tuition reimbursement. Academic achievement means if those students are in school and they're performing well, that you give them extra money for that. So that's great. Adoption assistance. The millennial population really popularized the need for this. Gen X, to a degree, it's very important. Folks are starting to want to have kids older. Floating holidays, that's great. Pet insurance. So believe it or not, there was people in a survey that they prioritized pet insurance over their own insurance. Pets are just really something that's near and dear to people's hearts, and pet insurance is not that expensive if you start it when they're young. So that's something to consider. We had a couple of companies talk about paying for the study time for field certification classes. One example is Grimbleby Coleman does pay for not just the study time for their accountants and CPAs, but also for the test fees themselves, which is really kind of a cool benefit for employees. So as we know, benefits tend to be generational, right? So it's no surprise that baby boomers want different things than millennials. Baby boomers, they want to maximize their salary. They obviously want good health insurance. They want a good retirement plan. Gen X wants some of that. They also know that matching with 401k came along in the last 15 years, and it's common to get matched up to about 7 or 8%. It doesn't usually go beyond that. They really want job security. They want training. They want training that makes advancement opportunities possible. As we talked about last time, all employees want that. It's important for retention that they have those upskill opportunities. If you miss the last training, we can get connected about that, and we can show you upskill opportunities throughout the community. There's a lot of online opportunities. So you should be looking for ways, even if you don't have a robust training program or the tools internally. There's a lot of things in this community that I think you guys will find interesting, and they're low cost. And we get to the millennial group. They really had lots of strong feelings during COVID. They wanted paid time off. They loved working remotely. They want control over their schedule even more than they want money. Gen Z. So these are even the younger people, the people in their 20s, right, that are just starting to work. They want to know that they can access those benefits using apps, using technology. If you guys have a medical plan that lets them go to the doctor virtually, they want that. One thing to note is that they're not necessarily folks that put a big emphasis on going to college. So they don't have student loans. They, in a lot of cases, they just started working, and they want that information on financial guidance. They want to start planning for their retirement early and know that that can really pay dividends as we talk about multiplier effects with retirement accounts, which we're not going to get into today. If you don't know the benefits that your employees want, do a survey, ask your employees. We have a survey program that we do called Best Places to Work Central Valley. It does get into it to some degree, but you can create a really in-depth employee survey thing. And if you want to work on that with us, we'd be happy to talk about what that could look like. So there's some interesting benefit ideas. These are pretty low cost in some cases. So things like Netflix, Spotify, Audible, these are things that cost, about $10 to $15 a month, but would be kind of a cool thing that your employees would talk about and tell people, well, hey, they pay for my Netflix over there. And that has a multiplier effect since so many people use Netflix. We have something in the chat. Yeah, so Best Places to Work is our annual survey program. We do not administer it. We like to be completely out of the process. It's an unbiased third-party program called Best Companies Groups that does that. So that starts every year in August. And the way it works is registration closes in December. Then they go to your executive management and they ask them a bunch of questions about what they think the experience of working there is. The administrators answer it, and then the employees get the surveys either via email, or they can get surveys in the field. If that's how your company is set up, you guys can pay a little extra and have field surveys. And they say, they ask them everything from, do you like your manager? Do you feel like people care about you at your work? Do you feel like your pay is in line with what you deserve? Do you feel you have the resources needed to be successful? So we have sample surveys for that. Those just concluded. We are going to celebrate the people that were awarded Best Places to Work at our Best Places to Work Celebrate the Central Valley event on March 31st. So we are letting people that are non-investors attend. We do have some tickets that we're selling. But if you grew our local workforce last year by hiring 10 new people or growing 10% in your company, then we would absolutely love to celebrate you. Reach out to us and let us know. We'll get you on that list. If you have additional questions or want to see some of those sample surveys from Best Companies Group, definitely happy to share those. If you wanted to do it now, then we would have to, you wouldn't be included in this group that got celebrated, but you'd still be able to get that same low cost survey tool, which averages about $1,000 to $1,200, which is much lower than $5,000 for a comparable survey. However, there's no reason that we could not create some kind of sample survey that asks your employees about. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Trask, for joining us. If you would like, we can send you all of this information and talk more with you. So Yeah, absolutely. Let us know if we have a need to create that employee benefit survey and find out the degrees of satisfaction. We can definitely do that. So other things that are on there, gas is a big thing right now, right? It was going up even before the Russia situation. It's definitely up now. There's gas cards, work from home Fridays. It shows you're really dialed into what your employees are concerned about. There's things like offering new parents a month's supply of free diapers. So maybe that costs you guys $250, but what a nice gesture, right? As opposed to if you can't afford a huge maternity or paternity plan. Also, along that line, if you're not familiar with the rules around nursing mothers and what's required of you, then that is something you need to be familiar with. They do require special areas and concessions, so make sure you're paying attention to that. So there are some local companies that offer commuter benefits. You're right. So that's a very interesting question, Jenna. We have 80,000 people that commute out of the area daily to go to work in Sacramento, to go to work in the Bay Area. And they're doing it because they don't think that there's jobs here for them. They don't think there's opportunity here for them. Um, if you guys have the reverse situation where you have people commuting into the area for your type of talent, we have information on what a commuter benefit package looks like that we could get to you. So email me after, Jenna, and remind me, and I'll send that to you, how you guys can create that in a competitive way. It's not something that this area has really worked on regionally because it's not necessarily typical for us to have an inverse commuting pattern. However, we just got some new software that will give us access to consumer cell phone data, and we'll know exactly where everybody's going when they commute. We'll know to which companies specifically for the first time ever. We knew they were going outside the area. We didn't know to which companies. So we're going to use that to try to attract those companies where big groups of people are going, and see if we have a way to attract those companies to have a presence here. We also have research tools that can tell you guys, let's just say, for example, physical therapist is one that we don't have a lot of here in our area. And we have an investor that wanted our help recruiting physical therapists. So what we're able to do is look locally, regionally, and nationally at where those talent pools for physical therapists exist. And we can talk to them about where there's an excess supply and where it pays more for them to consider relocation to here, and where they can really target in geofencing, and where they can really target in mailing campaigns and working with physical therapy schools out there. So we can do similar things for other areas. We definitely have the data to do it. And, everything starts with that data. So 2 hours of housekeeping, that really shows people that you're sensitive to their work-life balance and know they can't do everything. You could work out maybe a trade agreement with a local housekeeping company. Maybe your local, your janitorial company would consider expanding. Just kind of a cool benefit idea. Identity theft, that's on the rise. And there's lots of concern right now with times being so uncertain internationally. Peer recognition awards, that's something that's pretty cheap, and it helps create connectivity, especially among different departments. And during this time where everybody is really interested in working remotely, but it's hard to keep up connectivity with teams. This allows people to be connected to somebody that nominated them and saw that they did a good job. And then you give them a gift card to a local business, and you know that you're also helping that local business. So we do that a lot here. We believe that that's important. So here's some low cost benefit ideas. It could be things like a community cleanup. You guys could all go out to Lev Modesto. You could wear matching shirts or the same color shirt. Everybody could go out and get paid to clean up. You could sponsor a section of the freeway or maybe a local garden. You could have an annual wellness fair. The cool thing about that is a lot of those vendors come for free, and they'll do things like check if people are at risk for diabetes. They'll check their blood pressure. You can have Rodin Ranch, for example, they do those kind of fairs where they bring a bunch of produce. They give everybody free fruit. You guys can give awards to employees that have ideas for saving money, which is just kind of, a win-win. You guys get to save money and you get to honor somebody who had that idea. If they're cutting costs in their programs, or if they have ideas for, even saving on utilities, things like that. So floating holidays or having their birthday off, that's very popular with people. And typically it's going to be a really low cost thing, but it's going to be important to them. Hey, my company cares. I don't have to work on my birthday. Bring your pet to work day, obviously not in a manufacturing environment, but if you can do this kind of stuff, it's really popular, especially among young people. You could have a few times during those days where everybody goes on a walk together. Maybe you have a walking meeting with folks bringing their pets. Relaxed, free dress. Obviously, you cannot wear your pajamas that you wore through all of COVID, but you can wear jeans, maybe once in a while if you're not meeting with clients. Arcade games, ping pong. People tend to associate these things with a company being really fun. So even if you just have them available and people can access them on their break. Employee of the month parking spot. That's kind of cool on a few areas. Every day they come to work that month, they're feeling valued, they're feeling important. And it doesn't really cost you anything to do that. Along those lines, so plants are associated with people really feeling increased feelings of happiness. So what if you guys could go out and get plants, and then employees could pick which ones they wanted in their own cubicles, and it would help them really personalize their space and increase their feelings of happiness and morale. You could develop a product service trade with local businesses for employees. This is one of those things that I think we could happily get involved with. We could do a survey to local businesses and say, are you interested in trading products or services with other businesses to create kind of a benefits share program? So let me know if that is something that you are interested in, and we could definitely do that. Here's some more low cost benefit ideas. If you have this space outside, you could do a garden project, take turns tending to that. You could bring those flowers inside again to people's workspaces and brighten it up. You could volunteer to work in a community garden, and there's lots of those that are pretty cool around our community. Book exchange library, that can look a couple different ways. It can be books specific to your trade, which is interesting, and not all of your employees are aware of the different key pieces of literature and professional development, and they could become exposed to those if they had that free library. Also, it could look like a mini free library like you see all around the community, those really cute mailboxes people have in front of their house where you give a book and take a book. Employees could do that. They could include kids' books if they're done with them so that their coworkers can use them. And the kids' books could be donated eventually to local schools. You guys could go out and read to local schools. A company talent show, that's just a fun way to learn more about your coworkers, create connectivity. We found that when we were looking at employee retention ideas, that people, especially young people, are more likely to stay at a job if they have close friends at their work. So not everybody has a job that's conducive with meeting a ton of people. So if they could learn in a talent show more about those coworkers and really be the foundation for fostering relationships, that's great. Similar to that, when people start a job, the first 90 days are the most important for retention, right? So you want to make sure that people are learning the company, that they're getting connected to people, that they're feeling like they're wanted, and that they have a place within your company. Assigning them lunch buddies where it rotates out and you give them, a $25 gift card to head over to Food Fix and get a sandwich, or, Harvest Moon or Fuzio, wherever you guys happen to be in your different communities. Lunch buddies are a really cool way to foster connectivity. So matching employee donations to local causes. We have a lot of really cool charities and causes here. A lot of them are nonprofits. You guys could choose to match donations up to a certain point. Maybe it's $100, maybe it's $500, whatever your budget is. And then you could talk about, here's what our work did to support those local causes, and do kind of a cool marketing campaign and internal communication around that. Finance classes are becoming popular. A lot of young people right now, the reason that the gig economy is so popular is because it offers that independence that young people really like. On the downside, they're used to getting these frequent payments. So if they leave that job and then they want to start a new job, they're really wanting to explore this idea of daily pay, which if you guys haven't been approached with that, it might not be too far off. Essentially, yes, they are wanting to get paid every single day, which is kind of a nightmare logistically, just in terms of payroll. But beyond that, then they've spent the money and then they're wanting payday advances. So it's stuff that we have to consider. It's stuff that our next generation of the workforce wants. So if you guys want information around luring people back from the gig economy, or you want information on same-day pay, reach out to us and we can get that for you. So shared equipment that everybody can use. It would be that your company owns it and there could be sign-out sheets for the stuff, right? Backyard movie projectors, really fun during the summer. You guys could have the projector and the screen. They could check them out. It could be things like boogie boards. Take your family to the beach, borrow 5 boogie boards. Tandem bicycles. You could think of a ton of fun ideas. Maybe it's camping gear that comes in a set. So those were just some of my ideas, but there's hundreds of ideas. You could go on a local walking history tour. Locally, we have the architecture tour, right? We have mural tours in our community. We have downtown, we have that history tour that talks about graffiti and George Lucas, and a lot of cool information on that. So you could arrange one of those. Maybe depending on your location, maybe there's a local ghost tour. Maybe there's a local museum you could walk to. So this is something that's of interest to a lot of you. If you participated and you do not see your name and you want your name to be added to the matrix, we can, of course, do that. Some companies chose to remain anonymous. Some did not fill out the company field. These are the companies that did, and everybody knew we were going to share these. These are not secrets. To me, this is very impressive. The last iteration of this, we did have a lot of corporate companies in the region. We opted to not include those companies that don't have a presence in our local communities. So you will see that we do have some corporations on there, but they're ones that do have a presence here. So these are those basic benefits that we had talked about. Obviously, again, not everybody can do every benefit. Is there a question, Amanda, in the chat? Okay, great. Okay, great. We'll do that. Absolutely, John. If you guys can email us and tell us your benefits, then we will get those updated to the chart. And we're going to have this chart available evergreen. On the flip side, if you do not want your benefits shared out, then get with us about that. We were pretty clear that we were going to publish these. If you see that there's something that you have that's not represented here, we're happy to add that. Just so you know, not every benefit that every company had fit into this clean matrix. And that's why I shared some of those earlier. Some of you guys have things like help with transgender surgeries. You have accidental death and dismemberment policies, you know, all kinds of benefits that were not super popular, but are very cool. So if you don't see them represented on either matrix, we just didn't see a lot of companies with that. But we could look at, you know, adding things or taking things away. The next one is the advanced matrix. So that's going to look like all of those more advanced benefits that we have. A lot of you guys, you know, I'm very impressed regionally. We've come a long way from being a really traditional area to becoming a forward-thinking area that has a mind toward attracting and retaining top talent. If you look at that matrix, you can see a lot of companies that are really stepping up their game and checking a lot of those boxes. So if anybody would like to share benefits that you guys have that maybe you didn't get to participate in the survey yet, and you want to kind of share some about your benefits, I would love to hear from you. You guys can unmute and talk. Yeah, absolutely. We'll go back to our video. You guys can go to video. Does anybody want to share any of their benefit ideas that you have? I'll give you a second to unmute in case you wanted to. But yeah, again, we're here to support you. We're here to help you guys understand how to be competitive in wages and benefits. We can get you information on the benefit side really easily. We can tell you, you know, what to pay, how much talent there is for any given position. We can tell you how to get most of these benefits set up. And we have HR consultants at SBDC that can help you do that for free. Oh, that's very cool. Hi, Glenda. Glenda's from Brazil Lopez. They have free English as a second language classes. That's very important. You guys know that we have a large percentage of people in our communities that are kind of underemployed perpetually, right? So what we know is that they do seasonal jobs. They work in the summer in agriculture. They might work in the winter in logistics. What we're thinking about is rather than having a lot of our Hispanic workforce go back to Mexico during that off season, what if during those few months we could teach them English and then they could participate full-time year-round in the workforce if they wanted? So we're looking into ideas like that that really make sense. So things like Aflac, we don't have it on there, Donda. Hi, Donda. Donda's from Repsco. We don't have it on there, but I think that that's a really key thing. Our office has anywhere from 20 to 25 people at any given time. At one point, we had 2 people that had cancer, and Aflac was a godsend. So I definitely think stuff like that is really key if you can offer that to your employees. Did anybody else have any questions, thoughts about what you offer? So this is going to be one of those things where you think about it later. And like I said, we're going to get you this slideshow. We're going to get you that really cool report about how much of salary is wages across different industries, across different jobs. We're going to get you that matrix on both advanced and basic benefits that local companies are offering so that you can really understand how you stack up against your competition. We did last year, we put out a report about competing with Amazon. So we have a whole separate report that will tell you guys everything that you can do strategically to compete with Amazon if you are a company that has concerns about, those 1,000 to potentially 2,000 people they're going to hire in Turlock. That takes away from our workforce. Those are the people that we've been employing. Those are the people we want to keep. Even though Amazon is seen as this great company to work for, and in some ways they are a great company to work for, and we are excited for them to be here. But we do know that they're not the end all be all, that all of you represent great companies. So we can tell you the ways that you can do small shifts that aren't even necessarily expensive to hire and retain employees when you're competing with companies on that scale. So that is all that we have for you today. We can, of course, thank you all for coming. This idea on benefits was an idea that was requested of us. We do have one more meeting that the Workforce Development Department has been kind enough to fund for us. And if you guys have an idea on what you'd like that last training to be about, we can pivot. They're very good about being flexible. They want to provide that training that you guys need. So again, reach out to Eugene, reach out to Stanislaus County Workforce Development. They are a wonderful resource for getting your employees trained and getting new employees. So thank you, everybody. We'll be sending all that stuff out later today, and we appreciate all the work you do for our companies. Thank you.